African Americans have called our nation to greatness.
The African American community stood up again.
From our earliest days, Black history has been American history, with scientists and inventors who helped unleash American innovation.
This is Black Men Network, the organization of strong, intelligent Black men. Not long ago, we released a video about the unspoken details of Black Panther. For the most part, people thoroughly loved the video, and I thank you for your support. However, there were a couple of comments that concerned me. Most of those comments were centered on whether or not Black Panther was realistic, because some people believe that strong, intelligent Black men don't exist.
What?
So we decided to make this short series in order to teach people about the relevance of Black Panther to Black history, and show people how the history of strong, intelligent Black men inspired Stan Lee to create the greatest comic book character ever made. More people should be happy and proud for Black Panther's release, not just because he's a powerful Black superhero, but because of how much Stan Lee and Marvel had to go through just to get the comics published. The 1960s were a depressing time filled with war, drugs, civil rights, and equality movements, with Americans fearing the day that the draft man would come knocking on their door. Many people found ways of escaping their reality while trying to connect with other people. This is when Stan Lee and Jack Kirby teamed up to give people hope and inspiration through storytelling and vivid pictures. Because of the success of so many of his other characters, Stan Lee believed that he could do more to bring more people together. Having seen the horrors of the Holocaust, Stan Lee did not want to see the same thing happen to so many Americans. Yet, it was as if he could look out of the window and see society crumble by division. So he decided to tell a story about people that had never had their stories properly told. Stan Lee boldly decided to do something that had never been done, and something that no one would ever even decide to do. Stan Lee made the first Black superhero and put him on the front page of comics. When Stan Lee envisioned the story of the Black Panther, he was determined to make a story about a Black man that wasn't a stereotype. He also didn't want to make a story about white people saving Black people. In this story, Black people saved themselves and the world in the process. Stan Lee looked at the civil rights movements and asked himself one question: what would it look like if it were successful? How would people go about this achievement if they had no limitations? Once discovered, he wanted to put that story into a comic book, give Black people a powerful, non-derogatory image, tell a story that resonated with the community while simultaneously connecting all people regardless of their complexion. Stan Lee's road to building Black Panther didn't come without controversy. Some readers found great displeasure in having Black people in comic books, let alone on the front page. When people wrote letters about the appearance of Black people in comic books, Stan Lee used his platform to respond. But he didn't stop there. Stan Lee used a judo flip move, turning his opponent's anger and aggression against them. Stan Lee created a character and put him in all black from head to toe, so that way no one could know what he looked like. But Stan Lee knew there was not enough publicity on the character that he created and loved so much. He also was not willing to hide from threats. This is when Stan Lee and Jack Kirby came up with their genius move. Stan Lee let another writer by the name of John McGregor put Black Panther in the Jungle Action Saga. Not only is this where Black Panther got his first solo appearance, it is also where his character began to develop. Wait a minute. So people had an issue with Black Panther being a part of Marvel Comics, but they had no problem with him having his own saga in Jungle Action Comics. Ain't that some funny shit? But Stan Lee is a strategic thinker. He allowed Black Panther to gain in his popularity, then moved them right back to Marvel Comics. Checkmate, motherfuckers. There were other problems that Stan Lee had with the creation of Black Panther. The name itself became a source of problems. Originally, Black Panther's name was Cole Tiger. That's right, Cole. C-O-A-L. That story quickly went out of the window as Stan Lee felt it was not right for two white guys to make a story comparing black people to a lump of coal. So Stan Lee gave his character the name Black Panther. Smart move, Stan Lee. The name, image, and likeness of a Black Panther has been used several times throughout the past. There was a tank battalion from World War II that used the name Black Panther. There was also a political movement to register black voters in Alabama. Neither of them really gave the name much impact until the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense took up the mantle. They were a young group of highly educated and charismatic college students that were ready to fight for their rights. We're not going to go into the details about their movements and tell people about how they traveled the world fighting for the rights and freedoms of people of all complexions. So we'll just sum it up by saying that the movement was extremely successful and got worldwide praise and recognition. There was a moment where Stan Lee and the Black Panther Party came to conflict about the use of the name Black Panther. However, we don't know the full details about this story, so we're not going to make it up. In the end, both parties walked away with the rights to use the name, and because the Black Panther Party was so cool about it, they ended up with their own comic books. When asked about it, Stan Lee just said it was an unfortunate mistake. There is a story in the comic book where Black Panther changed his name because he was operating in America. He simply said it was because he didn't want his name to be associated with the political problems. Because Black Panther is such a king, he stated in the comic books that he is a law unto himself. That's Stan Lee, the Black Panther, and the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, all saying at the same time they're not changing anything. That's checkmate, game over. Sadly, the 1990s brought about the rapid decline of comic book sales. As a result, Marvel was forced to file bankruptcy. In order to stay afloat, Marvel began selling off the rights to their characters. Disney came in and bought a lot and started making movies. In an interview, Stan Lee said that Black Panther was the character he was most excited to see on the big screen.
Ask you about the upcoming Marvel films. Is there a particular film that you're excited about that's coming out?
Yeah, the Black Panther. Our first black superhero. And boy, I think he's going to be a big hit. At least I hope so. I got my fingers crossed. I like the Black Panther because, first of all, he's not the typical way you'd write about a black guy. He seems like a regular native in the jungle, but he's really the head of a nation which is hidden under the ground, hidden underground. And they're all geniuses, scientific geniuses. And this guy is a scientific genius. And nobody knows that the story about the whole Black Panther. And I'm not going to tell it all. You got to go to see the movie.
Not so sure how Disney felt about that. Disney acquired the rights in 2009. Black Panther was released at the beginning of 2018. I'm pretty sure that America elected its first black president, whom was a highly intelligent, charismatic leader that was loved around the world, had something to do with it. With the overwhelming success of Black Panther, more black people should be talking about it. More black people should be talking about the culture and the history of black people, the success, the intelligence, the strength. How will people know if we don't tell them? If we don't, more people will continue to believe that black intelligence doesn't exist. There's a Black Panther in every black man. It doesn't matter what skin you're in, as long as you stand for what's right and you stand together. Now that's why Black Man Network.
Hi, heroes. This is Stan Lee coming at you. Want you to know, Marvel has always been and always will be a reflection of the world right outside our window. That world may change and evolve, but the one thing that will never change is the way we tell our stories of heroism. Those stories have room for everyone, regardless of their race, gender, religion, or color of their skin. The only things we don't have room for are hatred, intolerance, and bigotry. That man next to you, he's your brother. That woman over there, she's your sister. And that kid walking by, hey, who knows? He may have the proportionate strength of a spider. We're all part of one big family, the human family, and we all come together in the body of Marvel. And you're part of that family. You're part of the Marvel universe that moves ever upward and onward to greater glory. In other words, Excelsior!
Take action that matters. That's how you make a difference.